Welcome everyone to NAPW's e-coaching networking event. E-coaching has taken the stage, not only fostering real-time networking, but also assisting our members through focused topics to move the needle professionally through live events hosted by our VIP NAPW members who are professional coaches. We couldn't be more excited to be offering you more networking and professional development opportunities in 2017. We encourage you to carve out the time and keep on coming back to our online events because of its ease and ability to network from your office, while on the road, and even from the comfort of your own home. You will see at the bottom right of your screen below the chat box the opportunity to download today's presentation directly from the room to your desktop. Since we only have 30 minutes together today, I want to get our session started by introducing you to this session's coach. Carrie Price is a brand messaging coach, helping ambitious women business owners find and own their words to stand out, be heard, and make their message roar. With more than 20 years of experience in branding and business analysis, she guides her clients to uncover and master their relatable, one of a kind, actionable, and reliable message so that they can boldly and confidently own their place in the market. You can connect with Carrie on Facebook at facebook.com Carrie Price. I want to welcome you, Carrie, and you take it away. Looking forward to your session.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for that wonderful welcome. I'm so excited to be here today with all of you. And let's just jump in and get started. I have a lot I want to pack into this 30 minutes. So let's jump right in. If you could drop in the chat for me where you're watching from, I would love to know. I love the technology. Lets us connect from all over the world, and I would love to say hi. So thank you so much for joining me for today's session. Let's get right in. So we're going to start with a poll because I wanted to ask you if you've ever felt this way, any of these ways. These are common pains and struggles that I see with the clients that I help and just people out there trying to market their businesses. Social media makes it easier than ever before for us to own our own businesses and put ourselves out there in the market. But have you ever felt like you just don't have the right words to explain what you do in a really concise way? Or maybe that you know you need to create content and get visible, but you don't even know where to start. Maybe you fall into the camp of you're putting great content out there, but all you hear is crickets. Or you might have even started investing in business coaching and marketing programs, and you're still not seeing results. Let me know if you've ever felt any of those struggles. And let me just say, while you're answering that poll for us, that there's no judgment. These are very common struggles, and what I want to cover with you today will hopefully help you start to overcome those struggles. And I see Penelope from Cleveland, Janelle from Colorado, Rhonda from Mahomet, is that how you say that? Illinois, Debbie in Charlotte, Kimberly from Richmond. Thank you guys so much for letting me know where you're watching from. Okay, so let's take a look at those poll results. It looks pretty evenly spread. People don't know how to find the words to explain what they do in a concise way. You guys, that's probably the #1 problem that I hear from everybody. You're an expert at what you do, but finding the words to explain it, so you stop getting asked the question, so what does that mean, is a big struggle for a lot of people. You know you need to create content to get visible, but you don't even know where to start. Also a really common problem. Or you're putting content out there and all you hear is crickets. Thank you so much for answering those questions. You guys are not alone, and I want to help you get really confident in your message so that you can boldly stand out in your market. Okay, if you're feeling any of those things, maybe you are frustrated. Okay, are you guys seeing the slides? I just want to make sure you're seeing the slides. It looked like it popped maybe back to the message. So if you guys Just let me know, okay? If you are struggling with any of those things, you might be feeling frustrated. You are seeing everybody else look like they're knocking it out of the park and you don't know what it is that you're missing, right? You don't know what the secret is. Maybe you're downloading every freebie that you can find to try and find that right thing. Thank you, Rhonda, for letting me know you're seeing the slides. And here's the thing that breaks my heart the most is maybe you're starting to doubt that you're even cut out for this, that you're cut out for being a business owner, because you're really good at what you do, but you don't know how to get it out there in a way that attracts more of your ideal clients to you. So that is really, really common. And again, breaks my heart to see that. But what if instead you could confidently speak directly to your dreamiest clients, the ones that you get them jumping up and down to work with you, and you will wake up every day so excited to serve them. And you were able to quickly establish yourself as an expert in your market, building credibility, earning people's trust and confidence easily. You guys, if you've been around in the online space, know people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And it's important that we know how to quickly establish all three of those. And you could have content ideas flowing easily, and everything that you wrote feels right. So today, I want to break down for you the 7 foundational elements that make your message roar. It's so much more than just the ideal client avatar, if you've at least got that in place. Why each of these elements gives you a competitive advantage in the market, and what you can start doing right now. These are the same 7 foundational elements that I get all of my clients to develop when they work with me, but I want you to be able to start making traction on those today. Now, before we do that, I want to get a better idea of how you would describe your own brand today. So if you could answer this poll for us here real quick. Maybe you feel like you don't have one, or you've given it a little bit of thought. You're working on it, but you don't feel like it's there yet, or it's well developed and you love it. Again, no judgment wherever you are. This will just help me get a sense of where you guys feel like you are right now. So if you could just answer that poll question, we're going to leave that open just a few more seconds, and then we're going to continue forward. Let me know, how would you describe where your brand is today? All right, we're going to wait just a couple more seconds on that. All right, thank you. All right, 17% of you said you don't have one. 8% have given it a little bit of thought. 47% of you are working on it, but you don't feel like you're there yet. Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, no one that responded to the poll feels like they've nailed it yet. Again, you're like that's totally normal. Most people are struggling with that because you're probably really great at what you do, not yet so great at finding the words that you can own in your market, but we are going to jump right in and help you tackle that. Now, in order for us to have this conversation today and make sure we're all on the same page, I want to define a few words so that we're all using the same meaning. All right, so your brand, it's your reputation as it's perceived in the mind of the market. Now, what that means, you have one. You already have a brand. The question is just whether it's the one you want or not. Now, the good news is you totally can control and shape it, and you do that through marketing. Marketing is what we call brand touch points. It's every interaction that somebody has with you. Every time you share a social media post or you do a video, whether that's Facebook Live or YouTube, or maybe it's you're sending an email or you're writing a blog post, actually talking with people and networking one-on-one or virtually, right? These are all marketing opportunities that are brand touch points. They are defining the perception that people have of you, right? That's your reputation. Your message are the words that power that marketing and make it the most effective. And when you have a message that roars, it's one that is relatable to your ideal client. It's truly one of a kind and doesn't sound like anybody else. It's actionable, making marketing even easier, and it allows you to show up and be reliable. Now, that's about consistency, not just in frequency, but consistency in your message. Every time you show up, showing up as the expert that you are. Okay? So, the final poll before we dive into the 7 foundational elements. Let me know what you've done so far. So many of you know that you're working on it, right? Not yet where you want it to be. And some of you maybe haven't started working on it yet. But tell me, what have you done so far to try and develop your message, to try and develop your brand? So if you could answer this one last poll, maybe you're doing it yourself as best as you can. And I know, look, we all are bootstrapping our businesses in the beginning, right? We are doing everything that we possibly can in our own businesses, and that's an amazing place to start. So are you still there? You're doing it yourself as best as you can. Or maybe you've had a little bit of help for bits and parts. You've hired a website developer, a graphic designer, maybe even a copywriter to try and help you get some of the words. Or you've worked with a branding agency or a specialist to help you with your brand. Let me know. Louise, great comment. One thing that you found in shaping the brand is you've got to be transparent, be selective about what you use as content, and consistent in how you target. Yeah, and we're going to break down the 7 elements that help your message get really strong, but all of those lead to authenticity. Absolutely. All right. Thank you for responding to the poll. Okay, 29% of you are doing it yourself as best you can. Awesome. 18% of you have had a little bit of help. Maybe you've started to hire somebody. Okay, nobody that responded is yet working with a branding agency or specialist. Totally normal. Working with a full service branding agency is very costly, and so it's cost prohibitive for a lot of us. But there's ways to get help. So I'm so glad to see that you guys are working on it yourself and you're starting to hire some help and get some help. All right. So let's jump in now. You ready? I'm going to talk to you about how you can make your message roar and the 7 foundational elements that you can start applying today. And I'm going to talk really fast, but like Natalie said, you're going to be able to download the slides, okay? All right. Elements 1 and 2 are what help you make your message relatable. This is all about making sure you fully understand your ideal client and what it is they care about. So element number 1 is getting really clear about your ideal client. It is more than just the ideal client avatar if you've done that work, although that is a great start. Now the reason a lot of business coaches ask you to think about your ideal client avatar, you give them a name, it might sound something like, my ideal client is Mary, she lives in a Chicago suburb, she's a married mother of 2 small children under the age of 10 with a golden retriever, she drives a Lexus SUV, drinks Starbucks, loves Target. Like, you start to identify what this person is, right? Now the reason that's a good thing is you start to think about one person. And whenever you're putting your marketing content out there, you want to be speaking to one person, because even if it's a group of people like we're doing today, there's one person on the other side of this camera listening to my message, right? So the thing is, the ideal client avatar does not teach you how to talk to them. People are motivated by one of 2 things, the avoidance of pain and the pursuit of pleasure. So one of the things you want to get really clear about with who your ideal client is what is the pain, problem, or struggle that is keeping them up at night. When you are able to laser in on that, and by the way, it's not probably the superficial first answer they give you. You've got to dive deeper. Like, what's that thing when they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they are stressed out about something and they're really struggling with something? What's the root underlying problem? Start identifying that today. If you start speaking to that directly in your marketing and you make statements such as, if you're struggling with, and you can fill in that blank in a way that gets them to go, is she in my head? Then you start to build the relationship and you start to attract those ideal clients to you, and that is what you want. All right, element number 2 is your value proposition. What makes you completely unique from anybody else in the market? There are going to be a lot of people that say they do what you do. And a lot of people get really anxious about competition. Competition is not a bad thing. Competition means there's a market for what you do. But you've got to be able to identify what is going to uniquely position you in the market. And talk about the things that your ideal client really cares about. This is the second piece of those 2 things I told you that your ideal clients care about. It is the avoidance of pain or the pursuit of pleasure. What are the results? the benefits, the transformation that your ideal client wants to achieve. And again, it's probably not the first superficial answer that they give you. It's that down deep reason, the down deep result, the benefit of the benefit. So one of the things you can start doing right now to get a better sense of this is imagine you're a fly on the wall and your dreamiest client just finished working with you, got amazing results, and now they're talking to their business bestie, their girlfriend, their spouse, whoever it is, and they're raving about why it was so great to work with you. What is it you want to hear them say? Okay. I'm seeing some comments. There might be some audio and video issues. Hopefully you guys can hear me, or the quality on the replay will be okay. I'm going to keep going. So thank you for reporting that. Okay. These two pieces, getting super clear about your ideal client and their pains and the results that they want that you can uniquely give to them, your value proposition, are going to start giving you the foundation of speaking to them in a way that is relatable, which allows you to move on to elements 3 through 6, where it's really about making your message one of a kind. Now, everybody's out there marketing, and there are a lot of people, again, who say they do what you do. You need to make sure that you show up with a message that sticks, that's memorable, that allows people to like sift through all the clutter that's out there and remember you over anybody else. And you do that by having a one-of-a-kind message. Doesn't sound like anybody else. So element number 3 that you want to work on developing in your own brand message is your brand personality. Now, this is the tone, attitude, and feeling of your brand. And it gives you a competitive advantage because it starts to make the emotional connection with people. You know, you walk into a room and you see a group of people, there's just somebody that you might naturally be attracted to that you want to know more about, right? This is part of what the brand personality is. Now, the cool thing is, as you get really clear on what your brand personality is, you start to attract more people because like attracts like. When you show up with a certain personality, you're going to attract people that resonate with that personality, right? So get really clear on that, embody that personality, and you will attract those people to your business. So what you can start doing right now is, even if you're a solopreneur in your business, imagine your brand is separate from yourself for a moment and that they were a person. What is the personality your brand would have? Because you're representing your brand, even if you're the person that you're a coach and people are hiring to work with you. But even if your business is separate from you, this exercise works. I want you to imagine that your brand is a person separate from you, and what is the personality you want them to have? What is going to attract your dreamiest client to your business? And then I want you to be thinking about your brand vocabulary. This is element number 4 of the 7 foundational elements. Your brand vocabulary is the words and phrases that you use, and just as importantly, it's the words and phrases that you don't use. Now, this gives you a competitive advantage in the market, again, because you're memorable. And this starts making your marketing content easier. You no longer will sit down with a blank piece of paper or stare at that screen and not know what to say. You need to start working out how you say what you do. How do you talk about what you do that is different than how everybody else talks about it? Because that's what's going to help you be more memorable. The words that go on your do not use list should be words that your ideal client doesn't resonate with, that causes confusion because confused people don't buy, or it's words that your competition is already owning and you don't want to do marketing for the competition. So make sure that you are clear about the words that you want to avoid as well. And you can start building this right now. Sit down and start writing a list of words and phrases that you use consistently every time you write a post or show up to do a video or send an email, and start keeping track of those words. Pay attention to what words are resonating and which words are not, so that you can adjust those words as you go. Element number 5 is your brand position. This is the 3 to 5 word statement that you want to own in the market. Some people call this the tagline. Now, I will be honest with you, this one takes some work. Now, you'll notice it's element 5. We did not do this in the beginning of your messaging development. In fact, I get asked by people all the time, hey, Carrie, what do you think about my tagline? And I honestly cannot give you any feedback on that without knowing all these other pieces, because your brand position needs to be the culmination, the most succinct version of your message, and it has to represent everything that you stand for. Mine is make your message roar. Everything I talk about is about helping you make your message roar and what that stands for. Following my own process, that took me 3 months to develop as well. So you might land on something that sounds great right away, but over time, as you refine your message and you get really clear and focused, you might need to come back and revisit the thing that you want to stick in people's mind. Now, what can you start doing to work towards that? Be thinking about what you want to be known for. What is the thing that you want to be the expert in? And if people remember nothing else about you, you want them to remember this. If you ever played the telephone game or the post office game when you were little, whatever you called it, it's the game where you sit in a circle and one person whispers a sentence into the ear of the next person and you can't repeat it. And it goes around the circle. And because the people are just repeating what they thought they heard, every single time you play that game, the person at the end did not get the same message as the person that started it. You play this game every day in your business. When you put your message out there and people start to talk about you, because referrals are amazing, they're communicating what they think they heard in your message. You want to give them something that is really easy to remember, that is going to survive the telephone game. All right, element number 6 is your brand story. Now, a lot of people talk about story. This is not your story. Now, the most compelling brand message is not about you at all. In fact, it's all about your ideal client. So this is the story of the experience they can expect to have after working with you. Okay, so it gives you a competitive advantage, again, because you start to make an emotional connection to your ideal clients. I used to tell my clients, and I used to say to people, your brand story might just be something that you use internally for you and your team, so everybody knows what they're getting behind. Everybody knows the experience that you're trying to create in every interaction that you have with your market. But I have more and more clients turning this into a video and putting it on their website because it's making such a strong emotional connection. It's getting those people to very quickly say, yes, that's exactly what I want, and you're the person that I want to help me with that. So you can start developing this now by just describing, what does your ideal client's life look like after they've worked with you? And focus in on all of the pains they no longer have, the results and the benefits of the benefits. Start describing that in a story format. That's going to empower you and everybody on your team to define that or to live that, right? And then element number 7 and beyond helps you make your message actionable. Now, I am watching the time, and we're going to have to speed through the last of these slides really quick, but we are almost there. Element number 7 is your elevator speech, or what I like to call your impactful introduction. You need to be able to include all of this information in your message in 1 to 2 sentences. You have 7 to 15 seconds to keep people's attention when you are introducing yourself. And if you can boil that down into an impactful introduction, it's clear, concise, hits all the points, and doesn't leave anybody wondering, so what exactly do you do? So you can start developing that. You're going to see my favorite formula right here in the slides when you download that. But it's, I am a title who helps an ideal client with a specific problem do something to fix it so they can have this result after working with me. So practice filling that in. Get that as concise as you can, something that you can say in just 7 to 15 seconds. When you put all of those elements together in what I call a brand message usage guide, you now have the foundation of everything you need to make your message roar. And when you use that message consistently, not just in frequency, but in consistently showing up with that message, you become seen as a reliable expert that your ideal clients are going to want to work with. So when you're relatable, you attract your dreamiest clients. You speak to them, meeting them right where they are, speaking their language about what they care about. You are able to stand out as a one-of-a-kind with a message that is sticky and memorable, making content creation easier and making an emotional connection. You have all the pieces that make your message truly actionable, including an impactful introduction and your entire brand message framework to make your marketing easier. And you're able to show up reliably with consistent marketing, showing up as an expert. Okay, I know we just have a few minutes left, so I'm going to scroll back through the chat. If you have any specific questions, drop those in the chat so that I can answer those for you. And I'm going to get caught up on some of the comments here. Louise says, my research has shown that you know yourself and your business better than getting involved with hiring an agency early on. Yes, I completely agree. In fact, I used to have a full service branding agency where we went in and did the messaging development for clients. I now operate as a coaching model. So using the same process, the same techniques when I would do it for my clients, coaching my clients to develop it for them, because you know your most authentic message, you just need help bringing it out. So I absolutely agree with you, Louise. Yeah, Louise, a key way to represent what you do is looking at your key attributes, list them, review them. Yeah, what we talked about in these 30 minutes today just scratches the surface of how to dive deeper on all of that. But I hope that you were able to take away some actionable steps that you can start applying to your business right now to get more control of your message, to stop blending in with everybody else, but to make your message roar. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'll just share my contact information. You guys can reach out to me. I'm on the MAPW site. Reach out me directly via email. I'm at kp@carrieprice.com. I'm also at Carrie Price on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just about everywhere. You can find me at Carrie Price. And my phone number's there if you want to just give me a call or if you want to schedule a chat sometime. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you guys today. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to answer all of those for you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Carrie, for an amazing session. I think we all feel pretty confident in now being able to enhance our personal brand, position ourselves strongly while creating a message that roars. You killed it. Feel free to connect with her and other professionals in themessagingden.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, Carrie. Our next e-coaching event is on January the 23rd. Sit tight for more information. Also, please make sure to go to napw.com e-coaching group page and join our hosts and other attendees there to continue the conversation on the group activity wall. Look out for our communications for all upcoming e-events. And if you are interested in submitting to be an e-coaching host, please reach out to us at the email that you see on your screen. Thank you, Carrie, and to the 1,000 members who registered today for today's amazing e-coaching session. We look forward to seeing you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy holidays.